We're here. Sorry for the delay. We had a little scheduling difficulty, but it is Wellness Wednesdays with your virtual pharmacist. I'm Dr. Marsie Ross, founder of EdLyn Essentials, and I have the wonderful, amazing, fabulous Dr. Kanisha Hall here.
all of that, yes.
Um, and so we are here with Dr. Kanisha Hall, who is a not only a medical doctor, but she's also a mother extraordinaire, also author, keynote speaker, Howard University grad.
Hey,
Thank you
you.
in the house. And so we are so happy to have her here today. Thank you so much, Dr. Hall, for being here. The only
For
thing, the
having
hey
me, first of
Tiffany,
all,
hey
thank you for having
Tiffany.
me, and I can't wait to share with your wonderful audience.
Yes,
And just before we get started, of course, I'm gonna plug my book. This is the book for all women, any woman of any age, any phase
absolutely.
in her life, who's trying to keep it all together and keep it sexy at the same time.
I love it. I love it.
So
While
that's
people are
available
jumping on
at
now,
drkanisha.com, drkanisha.com.
I love it. We're going to definitely talk a lot about your book because we're going to be able to piggyback off of what we talked about last week. While everybody's jumping on, we always like to just do a little bit of housekeeping or why we're doing this. And so at EdLyn Essentials, we empower you to live your best life. So our motto is healthy is the new beautiful. We want you guys to
Yeah.
hashtag best life. We want everybody to know that you can live long and strong all the way through. Just because you're over 40, we're just getting started. You're in your late 30s.
I know
We
that's
feel
right.
there's so much to do. So our only housekeeping is that you engage, engage, engage. We ask you to engage with us, ask questions. We have Dr. Hall here who's
I
going
am
to,
ready to answer
she
whatever
is
questions
ready.
they
She is
have. I
ready,
know I
Freddie.
have a question and I would love to talk it out with you. It's why is Wendy Williams falling out on the people?
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. We're definitely going to add that in. I have my take on it, but we're going to see what you guys think. We're going to definitely have a conversation. Hey, Adele, thanks for joining. We're just getting started. We love the engagement. We have Dr. Kanisha Hall here. We're going to be talking about, so if you did not get a chance to view our broadcast from last week, we talked about menopause. We talked about the symptoms. So definitely this is a extension of that, but taking it a little deeper and talking about intimacy. Dr. Hall, I know that you hear women all the time talking about, the challenges with intimacy,
Yeah.
the challenges, educating them even on, and we'll talk about this. Your book does a lot to talk about, moisturizer versus lubricant, really
Mhm.
understanding why it's important to have your moisturizers for your vagina on a regular basis to
Yeah.
help it stay healthy. We talk about supplements that help you have good vaginal health.
Hmm.
But also, we'll talk about intimacy. How, if you're having low libido, then how can you help to enhance that? What can you do? So, we definitely want to hear from you on how we can do better about, just rocking it out in our, as we get older.
Well, to go back to what we were talking about earlier, when we were talking about menopause and all the changes that we go through, there are so many symptoms when it comes to menopause. Not just their emotional symptoms from, changes in your mood, physical symptoms from the hot flashes to the way that you feel. And other ways that menopause manifests are the changes in our hormones and how they
Mhm.
relate to our intimate body parts, I'll just say it, our vagina, our uterus, our ovaries, our womb. Um, and it's not even just for menopause.
Right.
Women need to be more proactive about caring for their intimate areas like we do for the rest of our bodies. We go get
Right.
our eyes checked annually, and we will go to the physician to get a annual, physical exam and allow them, to probe our bodies when we really need to be, probing ourselves as far as regular breast exams, but
Right.
also checked out down there. And that's a very important topic that you bring up as far as moisturizers versus lubrication. Lubricants and lubrication is for people who are actively involved in intercourse at that moment.
Right.
They are commercial products that are offered to women to lubricate intimate areas for the point of intercourse,
okay,
which is all fine and dandy.
right.
But on a daily basis, just as you apply lotion to your skin to condition it and take care of it, you should be moisturizing your intimate areas. Now, for the most part, that wonderful womb that God gave us is a self-clean oven. We don't need to, add a lot to it and, clean it with all of these commercial things, but you can moisturize it with all natural oils, essential oils, and products. My favorite are sunflower, jojoba, and sweet almond oil.
Mm-hmm.
And these oils actually have natural antimicrobial properties,
All
which
right.
means they naturally keep bacteria and other, things at normal levels, because there's a normal level of bacteria that live in all of our bodies. They call it normal flora.
Right.
And that's what we want to maintain.
Okay.
We want to prevent, infection. We want to prevent, more acidic or more basic environments. And that's what, conditioning and moisturizing your intimate areas can do.
So I have two questions. The first thing is I was, just in terms of research on dietary supplements, learning how beneficial probiotics are for maintaining your healthy vagina, maintaining that normal flora, having you have good bacteria, so you don't have yeast infections, you don't have itching or discomfort or thinning of the uterus. Really adding a probiotic, it's like, oh, that's why they're so expensive. But
and that's another reason why commercial products that are promoted as far as the douches and all of these other things, they disrupt the natural flora that you're trying to promote with probiotics and even, like I said, these natural moisturizers.
Right. And so when you take the natural moisturizers, just in terms of application, you're saying to add it to the outside part, not internally, right?
You can actually massage the internal os, which is just the opening, but no, it's not for internal use.
Okay, great. And that's important because a lot of times, we grow up and we see about, people, the douches and anything internal where really just, it does not do well over time. Research is showing that you should not be using any of those.
No, I'm telling you, God gave us a beautiful self-clean oven.
Right.
Self-clean oven.
And so when we talk about intimacy, now that we're talking about it, as you get older, you hear a lot of women talk about their libido going down, but that can start as early as, your mid-30s. So I know you have to
start earlier. It can start when you have a child.
Right.
And people have children in their 20s. It can happen at any time for so many different reasons. Again, you have hormone fluctuations throughout your entire life. That's just not limited to, menopause.
Right.
So even beyond hormones, the stress that we have as women trying to balance the career, the household, the children, the events that, make us push back our show 30 minutes, like all balancing all of that together, like, it's hard.
It's true.
To get blood flow to my intimate areas when my brain is constantly
That's so true. That's so true.
So it's truly a balancing act, but there are some things that we can do to naturally increase our libido. It has nothing to do with, taking medicines, although there are herbal supplements available in that lovely EdLyn Essentials.
That's right. I thought everything. I got y'all.
Your libido, anything that helps balance your hormones is going to give you, a boost in libido. But
so let me ask you this, Dr. Hall. So tell us, now we're talking about that, I would love to know what made you write the book. I want you to talk about that book, and I want you to talk about the give and take, like the intimacy that we talk about, like the things that you can do to boost connection, intercourse versus intimacy.
Oh, now
Let's
you want to get into the good stuff.
I want to get to let's take a step back and find out what made you write the book.
I wrote the book after the passing of my father and the close relationship that I have with my mother, realizing my dad was the only person my mother had ever been with intimately.
Okay.
And I just wanted, it's an ode to womanhood. It's everything that we go through as women. Every single chapter in this book is about something we go through as women, as far as starting a career, having kids, unfortunately, sometimes losing a child, divorce, marriage, losing a loved one, cancer, illness, all these things that we go through as women. We always seem to put self last. We are always worried about others and engaged in other things to take care of our family, take care of our home, our community. We don't take care of ourselves. So it's a promotion of self-care. It's actually creating that safe environment where a woman feels okay embracing her sexuality. That's a big hurdle to get over, as far as being a sexual being and being a woman.
That's the truth.
It's permission. Give yourself permission to recognize that you are a sexual being. You are allowed to be sexual. And it doesn't mean that you are floozy. It doesn't mean that you're fast or any of this. It just means you're human. You're human and you're allowed to feel. So once you cross that hurdle, then it really gets good.
Okay.
I always tell people about my, Bill of Rights when it comes to being an adult and sexual pleasure. It's very simple. Permission and pleasure. You were born with a birthright to be pleased. So I have encountered so many women in their 40s and 50s that they don't have an interest in sexual activity because they have not received a whole lot of pleasure from sexual activity. And we have to fix that. We have to fix that immediately. And the best thing that I have found is to help women concentrate on intimacy. Men don't see things the same way that we as women see things.
No.
We can have more pleasure and interact better with our partners if we feel a bond. And that bond is created through intimacy. Intercourse and intimacy are two different things, but they're two different vehicles going down the same road. But you need to get, both of them on the same path to get to where you're trying to get to.
Absolutely.
So as women, you need to engage your partner and tell them what it is that you need. With women, it's not always about the physical. We need emotional support.
Absolutely.
We need to feel that connection. And so I know we've talked about it before. I have what I call my intimacy toolbox. And I just share that with couples who are trying to just reconnect and get that fire back. And
you talk about this toolbox in the book.
Yes, my favorite is the tug of war. And it's not what you think. It's a very simple exercise that begins with a silk scarf. Now, what you use the silk scarf for after the exercise, I am not responsible for. The two people engaging in the exercise grab either end of the silk scarf. And it's about communication and eye contact. And you're asking this person a question. But before they answer, you have to actually guess what their answer might be. And if they're right, you can pull them a little close. But if you're wrong, they can back up. However, it requires you to communicate. And the more you talk and about this person and you're getting those answers correctly, you're drawing them in and they're drawing you in.
Right.
And the closer and closer that you're actually getting, it is a representation of how you're building a bond through communicating with your partner.
Right.
And in the entire time, you're maintaining this sizzling eye contact.
Right.
You won't believe how much eye contact can improve in that moment. So that's
What I find is wonderful is that using those tools, like as a woman's body is changing, as she's kind of going through growing in life, feeling not quite like herself, like really, as a woman, I'm 47 years old. And so as a woman,
you look good, girl.
Go. Diet, exercise, and supplements, it really makes a difference. Right. But as I'm going through it, sometimes I don't even understand it myself. I may not even feel comfortable talking to my girlfriends who they're like your springboard, right? Mm-hmm. And so I love that idea of that tug of war where it almost is sensual, but it's also informative, where I can say, well, I used to want to this and now I don't, and I'm not feeling it. I'm used to being strong, or I'm used to, and I'm crying for no reason. Like, it's amazing how that to me just seems like such an opening for sharing rather than we need to talk, like,
exactly.
I got something to tell you, or he might be feeling frustrated if I'm going through something and I can't quite communicate it. So I love that idea of that gentle tug and war. I think that's amazing.
And if you get tied up in the end, then I call that a success.
I think that was a good tug of war, right? You both get what you want. Now, you guys,
it's all about give and take in all relationships. Reciprocity is a big thing, especially, we as women, we give so much because that's part of our nurturing nature. But whenever you're giving out so much, you got to put back in. You need to reinvest in yourself. And that's what I tell women all the time. That's my biggest women's empowerment message is you can't be the best you unless you take care of you.
I say that love yourself the most. And that may seem hard. It's hard for us because we're so used to, I show this list, a laundry list of things. And I'm like, I show one side where we have everything, laundry, dropping kids off, homework, working, trying to exercise, trying to be cute, trying to see our friends. And then you're me at the bottom. And it's like, so many women relate to that. And then I flip it over, it has the exact same list, but now you have me at the top. And you can see a sigh of relief as women. Right. Tiffany says self-care is essential. Nurture you. Yes. We agree. Putting yourself first. And it takes girlfriends. It takes these conversations to say, put yourself first. And you're not selfish. Loving you the most means that you are there to love the people in your life the most, especially with heart disease being the #1 killer of women.
Oh, yes.
It is something serious. Stress, our diet, and poor exercise are all culprits for us really literally having heart attacks and dying. Unfortunately, we lose one woman almost every minute. It's more than any cancers combined. And so if we can decrease our stress, and that means just put yourself first, whether it means taking a walk or doing something. Michelle says, yes, absolutely. And we want to, Connie's here. She definitely agrees. And we want to just, that's why we're here. We're having these conversations so that #1, we get answers. A lot of times you as a physician, me as a pharmacist, with the overburdened healthcare system, people don't have this time to talk.
Yeah.
To have that connection all the time. We want to, but we don't have the time, and everybody's busy rushing in and out. And so this time with, on Wellness Wednesdays, we get a chance to have these conversations, and we're so thankful for it. You also have in your book a chapter on menopause.
Yes.
So your book is for every woman of every age. I love it.
Yes. There's a chapter on menopause. There's a chapter on, children. There's a chapter on marriage, because a lot of people go into a marriage focused on the wedding, not realizing when the wedding is said and done, you still have to deal with the marriage. Yeah. And you want to build upon relationships. There is even a chapter in my book about failure. I haven't done everything perfectly in my life, and some of the hardest learned lessons were my best learned lessons. So I don't just want to share all of my successes. I'll share my failures with the entire world to know that I am flawed, but I'm beautifully flawed. Right. My flaws have made me who I am. And it's just about embracing who you are, loving who you are.
Yeah.
And when we first talked about me, embarking on this journey, trying to, renew myself and get back in the gym and live a healthier life and taking your supplements. I said, if I do this, I'm going to share this online.
Right.
Because I want to show other women, we're going to try, we're going to fail.
Yeah.
I still have not made it back to the gym yet.
Yeah.
But the week is not over. I've been taking my supplements. I've been eating a lot better. I've been feeling a lot better. And I'm going to, get there. And that's something we have to do more as women.
I agree.
Is share our failures as well as our successes. So if someone learns from a mistake I made, then that's a very, deserving mistake that I made. And it's going to make us all better people.
I agree. And I show people, goodness gracious, this Halloween candy, Jesus, I need it up out of here. I'm like, I'm not that strong. I need, because it's just the first holiday. We still have Thanksgiving, New Year's. So I share that. People are like, oh, you're doing so well. No. I've been tearing this candy up. I need to stop. I'm like, and so I think, just talking to women, say, okay, so just today is the day. Then you need to throw the candy away. Just let the kids pick 2 or 3 and hide it from you, and then that kid out the house. So I love these conversations. I'm so thankful to have the opportunity for you to connect with the audience, for you to answer questions, to talk about how do we manage our life at all stages, right? We want to go through all stages with style and grace. And that does not mean go through it perfect. It does not mean go through without, mistakes, but it does mean that you have a community here. That's what we're trying to build, a community to help women live longer and stronger. And that's really what we want. We want to be here to answer questions. We love that you guys are asking questions. Doesn't look like the little teleprompter is working right now, but Tuki's love this. And Tiffany says the wedding is just one day and marriage is a lifetime. And that's
right.
So
it's
true.
A lifetime or it's not.
Yeah. Okay. But next week we're going to actually have Dr. Wilson on to talk about some other topics on women's health. So, and we know on Thursday, you also have a program on Facebook Live, a grown folks program. You need to put it away.
We had to push it back an hour.
Yeah, because you had to put those babies away.
Yeah, let the little babies go to bed so we can really, I just want to really talk to women, and I feel like we want to learn from each other. Like I want to learn from them, and I hope that I give them some little tidbits of wisdom to make their lives better as well. But yes, Real Talk Thursday is going down tomorrow because I'm going to steal Dr. Wilson first. I'm going to pick her brain about when do you start that conversation about preserving your fertility? Yeah. Because the more you think about it as career women, we keep pushing it back and pushing it back. Like, we really need to have a conversation.
That's such a great topic.
Even before you have the conversation about fertility, I know you want to talk about it as well. Like, we need to discuss some of these contraceptive options because it's a wide.
It really is. And like Gabrielle Union, I know a lot of the stars have been very vocal about, they felt that they put their careers before having children. I think they wish, they could turn back the hands of time. So that's going to be a great conversation. So it's Facebook Live tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. Central. Tomorrow on Dr. Kanisha Hall. If you follow her on Facebook, you can see she's very easy to find. Dr. Kanisha, I think that's on everything. So on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, that makes it easy. I love it. Well, we certainly appreciate you. And let's see that book one more time.
All right. One more time. Right side up.
That's right. Everything you need as a woman of all ages.
On your page as I continue to comment and video blog about my journey to wellness.
That's right.
I'm trying my best.
That's right. That's all we can do. They say diet, exercise, and dietary supplements are the trilogy for a long life. So you're on your way.
I'm trying.
That's right. Well, guys, thank you so much. We had another great opportunity to be here today. We'll see you guys next week on Wellness Wednesdays. Make sure that you hashtag best life. You can hashtag buy flashes. That was my favorite from last week. Thank you, Tuki, for that one. But we want you to go out there and live your very best life. Live a life full of energy. We want that for you. We'll see you guys next week. And you can see Dr. Kanisha Hall on Real Talk Thursdays at 9 p.m. Facebook Live. Thank you. Bye, guys. Thank you, Dr. Hall.
Thank you.